Ladies and gents, I got an author and a topic for you guys. And the topic is going to be something that you guys are going to want to listen to and going to want to watch. But before we get into that, I'm going to play a music video and then we're going to get into everything else. So stick around.
That's Hunter.
Yeah. Mr. Angry Man is back. I'm back. That's right. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Nah. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Yeah. Listen. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. United we fall, divided we rise. That's all they ever see when they look in our eyes. I ain't the least bit surprised, and I don't even ask why. I study, looking for love, and all we get is despise. They proper lying, what? Meaning they falsely prophesying, talking about we really living, but we steadily dying. Tired of mothers crying, damn, and fathers silently raging. There's gotta be a way to escape this situation now. Yup. Come on. Verse 2. We search for brighter days to escape the maladies, giving homage to the folks that passed away. I speak life with the words I say, and that's the weapon I use to keep the evil at bay. I don't play when it comes to mine. My rhymes speak of a revolution this time. It's by design, and I'ma drop these deposits. So if you scared, take your ass to the closet. Why? Let me tell you this. Let's go. I got one more verse for you. Hit them off with that verse. Listen to me now. Verse 3. I drop gems, representing lugs and Timbs with backpacks. I got props like Black Moon, they want effect like Daz. I'm pouring mic like Nas. I'm the southern playalistic cat that beat them odds. I'm coming down hard. We coming down hard. Yes, sir. Y'all didn't know that I can rock like that. One time for your mind. Representing for the deuce. That's right. Put it down for the deuce tray. Let's go, Mr. Angry Man. Haha. Peace.
Good evening, and good evening. Welcome to Trailblazers Radio. I am your host for the evening. My name is Frederick Beatty. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in and rocking out with us, man. You guys could have been anywhere else, but you guys are right here with us. And we most definitely appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of a Friday evening to rock out with us and chill out with us, man. More importantly, welcome to the Authors Alley, the show where we talk about all things literary. We talk to authors of all genres. We talk to authors of all genres, and we talk about more than just books. We talk about writing journeys. We talk about the reasons why they write the books that you guys are reading. And today, or should I say this evening, I have a wonderful author in the building tonight, man. An author of 2 books, man, a motivational speaker, all around great human being, man. This guy's a close acquaintance to a good friend of mine, Miss Morgan Jones, and I am super duper excited to have him in the building, man. But before we bring him up, man, I just want to say, um, just support us by, just do me a favor, support us by liking us on Facebook, supporting us on Twitter, watching our shows on YouTube, and support us on Instagram. Man, look, we got a YouTube channel. We're 96 subscribers in. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, man. We need 4 more subscribers to get to that 100. If you go to our YouTube channel, which is Trailblazers with the Z Radio, check out some of our content. And if anything that we do, anything that we have resonates with you, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button to hit that bell notification to be notified when we bring out more content. I guarantee we got something. I guarantee that we have something that will resonate with you. I promise you. Big shout out to my host, Miss Quentin Jones and Coco Fenton, and also my other host, Miss LHG. These ladies have been putting it down, giving you guys great content for a very long time, and we're going to continue to do that for you guys. But now that I've gotten all that out of the way, that was long-winded, so I apologize. But yo, man, let me bring this gentleman up to the stage, man. Again, This guy's an author. He's a motivational speaker. A good friend of a person that he's an acquaintance of a good friend of mine, Miss Morgan Jones, and I am super duper excited to have this gentleman up in the building, man. Look, we're gonna have a good time, man. So, the Authors Alley, you guys give a warm welcome to my brother, Mr. Rashaad Johnson. Hey there.
Hello. What's going on today, Fred?
Hey, I am wonderful, man. How are you doing on this Friday evening?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm great. I'm living life.
That's what's happening. That's what's up, man. Glad for you. I'm so happy that you're here, man. Thank you for taking the time out of a Friday evening to hang out with us, to kick it with us, and just to have a conversation, man.
Absolutely, no problem, man. No problem.
Look, man, I'm super excited super excited for you to be here, man. I'm super excited to get this thing rolling, man. Man, so let's jump right into this, brother. Man, so
all right,
let's talk about this writing journey of yours. Where did this start?
So my writing journey, it actually started from the speaking. I actually never had a desire really to be an author. But I've been speaking for years. I've been speaking for a long time. And a couple of people, one of my mentors told me, a few people in the industry told me, like, listen, if you want to be taken seriously as a speaker, you might want to think about writing a book, because, you know, writing a book automatically gives you that expert persona in the eyes or the perception of people, you know, that will come to listen to you. So I thought about it and I was like, I think I can write a book. I got some things to say. And so I wrote my first book back in 2016. That was Cage Dream. And my newest book that was released last year is Identical Contradiction. And so both of them, I'll tell you, Cage Dream came from me just wanting to do something purposeful with my life. You know, I was doing it on the side, but I felt like I was in corporate America, you know, climbing the corporate ladder, making money. But I'm like, this ain't it. Like, this ain't it. Not for me, you know. And then, you know, the last book came, my book, Identical Contradiction, that came from really from I know exactly when it started. I was in a meeting and somebody said something that wasn't even funny, but everybody else laughed. And I was like, ha ha. And then I got so angry at myself. I was like, Rashaad, why the hell are you laughing? Like, that ain't even funny. Like, what is going on? And I just thought about the reason why I felt like I should laugh. So that's what sparked the latest book.
Wow. So you really didn't think about writing, but it's something that someone suggested to you as a speaker.
They suggested it. And then once I started writing, I was like, whoa, I have a lot to say. I have a lot that I need to talk about. And so I have 2 books out and I'm working on 2 more right now as we speak. So when I started, I was like, okay, I can't stop now.
Now, your motivation for writing, you mentioned that your motivation for writing your books were that simple fact that you were in corporate America and you were climbing that ladder, and that also that there was an experience, which I, from what I gather, how you talked about it, was a negative one. Was that extra motivation for you to write, or did you kind of just write from that experience?
Well, that was the motivation. That particular incident, that was the motivation for the latest book, Identical Contradiction. That was it. The experience was negative for me because I felt like at the time I was being fake. Like I was laughing at something that wasn't even funny. And I had to ask myself, why do you feel the need to laugh at this, Rashaad? Like, what is it? What is it that's causing you to really laugh at this? Why do you feel the need to want to fit in like everybody else? And that's not naturally me anyway.
Right.
And so I really just started like doing some self-work and digging into why do you feel like you want to be accepted in this arena, you know, in the corporate world. And, you know, I started thinking about it. I was like, actually, I really don't. Like, I really don't. And so, but I just started writing about my experiences.
I think, you know, and I like that you mentioned that, because I think too many times that we all, as you know, you being an author now, I think we write towards our experiences, and we're with the hope that those experiences are something that somebody else can pull from and extrapolate the lessons that we learned from experiencing it, and they can apply it to their own lives. You know,
right.
Did you ever think that the books that you've written now, from the first one to now to your most recent one, did you ever think that thought that these books would have such the impact that they have?
I didn't know. I was actually hoping that they would, but I've been really humbled by people that have read the books and come back, and the feedback that they've given me of how it changed the course of their thinking and how it sparked them to start a business or how it sparked them to change the course of their life. Like, that's always humbling for me. When somebody tells me what my writing has done positive in their life, I expected it, I hoped for it, but to hear it is real humbling. It's like, wow, like it's like, oh, I actually am making an impact in this world. So it's a great feeling though.
Right. I like that, man. Now, what was now when you wrote from your first book to your second book? If you look at your first book and you look at your second book, has your approach to writing? Did your approach to writing change? Did you look at how your first book was constructed, and did you think about, well, maybe I need to change this, or maybe I need to change how I present it? So were there any changes from book one to book two?
There was. That's a really good question. There was some changes. First book, that was my first book. So I was just trying to write a good book. I was trying to use my experiences and trying to make sure the book was something that some people wanted to read. So I made sure I put certain stories in there that I thought would grab people's attention. I tried to be really open and honest. So the first book, my mentality was really to try to write a good book. The second book, I was like, I'm just going to talk about what I think and what I feel. This is me. This is what it is. If you like it, great. If you don't, great. But this is me. So it was a little different from the first book to the second book.
Wow. And I think and also I think when we write, our from our first book to the next book, I think our worldview changes as we write too.
It does. It does greatly. I mean, even though it was 7 years in between 6 years in between the books, but you're right, your worldview changes. And it should. Like, you grow up a little bit. Every day you should grow. After a period of 6 years, no matter who you are, you should grow a little bit. And so I grew a little bit. My mentality grew a little bit. My approach to life grew a little bit. So it's definitely a little different. I mean, it's still the same me, but it's a little different.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. I like it because for me, I know from my first book to now, be writing my fifth book now. Yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of things have changed. My thought processes have changed. The way I see things have changed, and it manifests them as writers. As I call people authors, but let's just be honest. We're writers.
Right.
So as writers, you are your pen evolves, your worldview changes, and that worldview is reflective in the pages. And I know people will look like, what? I didn't know he felt that way about something like that. Did you have you ever got those reactions?
Yeah, definitely. Because even in the first book to the second book, you're right, the world has changed. Like, I mean, you look at what's happened in the last 3-4 years, our world has changed dramatically. Certain things have changed and other things haven't changed, but we're just being made more aware of it. And it's more mainstream, it's more in your face. And so you're right. Yeah, I've had some people say, like, is that really how you feel? And mostly family. It's like, is that really how you feel? And I'm like, absolutely. That's what I think. That's how I feel. And so you're right. You do evolve like anything else. The more you do it, hopefully the better you get at it. And so I feel even as a writer now, I'm more comfortable expressing certain views in a certain way. Whereas before I was kind of not censoring myself, but there were certain things I was careful of the way I said it and how I talked about it.
Tiptoeing.
Yeah, tiptoeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think with certain subjects, a lot of people tiptoe around it because sensitive nature of the subject. Then also, you don't want to ruffle nobody's feathers when you talk about this. But the way I see it now, even looking at the title of your second book, some of this stuff is not new. It's not anything that we haven't been exposed to already.
Yeah, it's not. It's there was a time where I didn't really want to ruffle feathers. Now I really don't care about ruffling feathers. Like, that's not my goal, but I'm gonna say what I think. I'm gonna say what I feel. If it ruffles your feathers, that's kind of a you problem. I'm not intentionally trying to do it, but if it ruffles, if I step on your toes,
sorry.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm ready to say sorry. Just like, that's life.
You know what? We're the same type of people, because there's some things I say here in front of this microphone, in front of this camera, that be like, you didn't say that. Well, it's too late. I already said it.
Yeah,
it already came out of our mouth. It's recorded. It's on the internet. It's permanent record now. So we'll be.
Hey, and I think we're taught as kids, there's certain things you just don't say in certain places. There's certain things, even if you feel it, you don't say anywhere. And I think the book itself is really me being honest about some things that people feel. I think they feel, but they're hesitant to express it in certain places, in certain venues, in front of certain audiences. But I'm saying, okay, I used to, and it's that growth we were talking about earlier. I used to be pro this way. I used to say, this is what you should do to get ahead, and this is how you have to act in certain circumstances and certain places. Now I'm like, nah, just be you.
Exactly.
If they don't like you, that ain't where you're supposed to be anywhere. Just be you.
Yep. And since we're broaching on that topic anyway, let's jump into that, man. Let's talk about the subject matter of your book. Let's talk about code switching. So for me, from my experience, that's looked at as in a negative connotation.
Mm-hmm.
It's looked at as like, well, why you switch it up to try to fit in with people? Why is it looked at? Well, it's also looked at in a positive connotation too, because we're intrinsically taught to get somewhere, to get to a certain place in life, we have to adapt to that, to whatever environment that we're in. You know,
absolutely.
Why? So absolutely. Why is that something that is so? Why is it something that's? Because for me, it's a duality to it. Mm-hmm. Why is it celebrated, but then also why is it frowned upon?
So I'm gonna tell you why it's celebrated, and I'm gonna tell you why it's frowned upon. It's celebrated because you're able to be accepted in certain places, and it gives you access to certain things like money. Like, for example, us as Black people, we're taught to code switch in corporate America. We're taught to speak a certain way, present yourself a certain way, act a certain way, because that's what's needed in that arena to get to the bag. Like, you can't just go. They're not going to give you the bag unless you conform to how they view professionalism. And so I used to teach my mentees that to a certain level. Like, you got to know it's a fine line, because you do have to know how to flow in different arenas. You do have to know how to flow in different areas. But my whole book is basically saying, stop code switching. Like, stop it. Because listen, I took it back to the mentality of it. When I told you, when I started to write this book, I remember the time where I was in corporate America. I was in a meeting and somebody told a stupid joke and everybody laughed, and I was like, ha. And then I was like, yo, that's not even funny, Rashaad. Like, I was so mad at myself because I'm like, Rashaad, why are you doing it? Like, what are you laughing about? It wasn't even funny. But I started asking myself, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Now, this is what, and some people say, Rashaad, you're too deep. Let me tell you where code switching started for a lot of us. Code switching started for a lot of us on the plantations, because we had to put on a face for survival. We had to act like we were okay with everything that was going on. Yes, master. No, master. I want to be a good boy, master. And so we had to adapt in a way that wasn't comfortable for us, and we really didn't feel it, but it was survival. And I'm not knocking, our ancestors at all. They did what they had to do to survive. They did what they had to do to stay alive. So it was necessary for them. And as the world has grown, as this country has matured, it's still been necessary for a lot of Black people to survive, to have a job. We had to put on a certain face. What I'm saying now is we know that we are powerful when we stand together. When we unify, there's nothing that can defeat us.
Right.
So my message now to all of us people of color is stop code switching. What are they going to do? Fire all of us? What are they going to do? Not hire all of it? This country could not run without Black labor. And from the bottom to the top, this country, if every Black person decided tomorrow we're not working for a week, this economy would crash. This country would be in trouble. The whole world economy would feel it. And so what I'm saying is be you, because too long we've been taught to be something else to be accepted. We've been taught to be this way to be accepted. My message is be you, be authentically you, because you can never reach the height of the success you were intended to reach unless you're authentically you.
But why? But so when you were saying it, why? But why is it so important for us in this day and age to continue to code switch though? And again, the way I look at it, it is a form of adaptation, which has a negative and a positive effect. But why is it so important for us to continue to do that outside of corporate America?
A few different reasons, a few different ways. It's not just corporate America. Sometimes it's survival. It's still those survival instincts. For example, I think a time where a lot of people would code switch instantly is when they get stopped by the police. Like, if I could be listening to some Biggie, blasting it, if I get stopped by the police, instantly, I'm gonna turn it down, and I'm gonna talk a certain way. It's I don't even try. It's ingrained in me that, hey, you need to survive this. So, and if everybody was fair, if everybody was a good person, if everybody was honorable, you wouldn't have to code switch. But it's ingrained, like, okay, it's still a survival thing. So my message again is stop code switching. Like, we have to learn how to be us in every arena, in any and every arena, and force the world to accept us. If they don't accept us, okay, they're gonna suffer.
Right. And like you mentioned, interactions with the police. I mean, we do that because it's a survival tactic.
Mm-hmm.
We intrinsically do that because we want to get home safe to our pets. We want to get home safe to our loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, in order to do that, we take on a persona that's not authentically us. And like you said, we've done that throughout the years, throughout the ages, just to survive, or just to kind of get by, or put on the impression that I get it, I'm with the in crowd, but deep down, I don't care about these fools. None of what they do, and none of what they're saying, and what they're doing jibe with what my core beliefs are.
Right, and you're absolutely right. So let me give you. I love analogies. Like, I love metaphors. I love analogies. And I talk about this a little bit in my book. It's like this. Let's say you got to hang a picture on the wall, and you got to take the nail and bang the nail into the wall. Now, the ideal thing to do would be to use a hammer. But if you have a shoe, with a hard enough bottom, you can use the shoe to bang it into the wall. You can do that. But what happens if you use that shoe continually to continue to bang nails? After a while, it's going to tear that shoe up. It's going to destroy a part of that shoe. It's the same thing with us. It's what's happening with us on the inside. A part of us is being damaged because we're doing something that's not natural to how and why we were created. We're taking, and mentally, it has an effect on us. Psychologically and emotionally, it has an effect on us. And you begin to alter, and it can seem small, and some people may think I'm reaching, but I'm not at all. You really when you begin to change a part of yourself on a regular basis, you get to a place where you have to look in the mirror and you don't even recognize who you are, certain parts of you anymore. And again, like I said, with the hammer and the shoe and the hammer, you can use a shoe, but that's not what that shoe was created to do. And if you use it continually for too long, it's going to damage that shoe.
A great analogy to use. Now, one of the questions that I did have, when you think about this, we look at, I think it's fair to say that it is a survival tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it fair to say that? And I'm trying to put it in a way to where it doesn't sound like, it doesn't sound crazy, but it's just a thought process of mine. So we know it's a survival tactic.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that we use it consistently to remove ourselves from situations and circumstances to either negative or positive effect.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the questions that I've always had, and I want to pose this to you, what are the negative aspects of that? What happens when code switching backfires?
Okay, I can tell you a lot of negative aspects of code switching. One of the negative aspects is what I was alluding to it earlier, is you hinder your growth. Because again, you cannot be as successful as you need to be on this earth and what you were created to be if you're not being authentically you. And code switching sometimes takes some of the authenticity away from you. It takes you away from being authentically you because you're trying to be something else, a part of you that's not natural, but you're forcing it. So you're hindering your growth. Like you can never reach the height of success you want until you're authentically you. Another negative impact is it starts to alienate you from some of your people. Because they look at you now and they're like, why are you pretending to be something you are? Like, you don't really talk like that. Like, that's not how you interact on a normal, regular basis. Why are you doing that? Like, why are you trying to be white? Like, why are you trying to fit something? And I know you personally, I know that's not who you are. So then they start to question you, and you rightfully so, because now you have to look at it. They're looking like, okay, this isn't the person that I knew. Like, this is why, and they may not know your reasons, but all they know is you being fake. Like, in their mind, they're like, you being fake. Like, why are you trying to be like them? Like, that's not you. And so you start to alienate yourself from your own. And so that's just two of the negative effects. But let me tell you another big negative effect is you help foster a mental picture of what a safe Black man or woman looks like in the eyes of others. And so when they see anything outside of you, then they think it's negative, or they think, for example, great example. So I have tattoos, I have a lot. I have tattoos. In my last couple of years in corporate America, I let my tattoos show on purpose because they know who I am. They know my capabilities. They know the work that I do. It's psychologically me telling them, just because a Black person has tattoos doesn't mean they're a thug. Just because a Black person has art on their body doesn't mean they mean you any harm. Doesn't mean they're dangerous. Doesn't mean they're criminal. Because a lot of people, they equate that with criminality. And so when you refuse to be yourself, then you perpetuate the stereotype and you make what they think in their mind correct. That's why I purposefully try to be me, because especially when I'm at work, when I used to be in corporate America, I wanted to be who I was because I wanted to let them know this is me and this is a lot of my friends. And just because I do this, just because I decided to have a couple of tattoos, just because I like this type of music, doesn't mean I'm a criminal. Doesn't mean I'm a thug. Doesn't mean you should be scared of me. doesn't mean, you know, that you should foster the opinion, which perpetuates you targeting certain black people that look like that because you automatically think they're criminal because of the way they look. That's another negative effect of it.
Man, perceptions are completely objective until the person explains themselves. Because like like you said, the tattoos, you know, the beard and all that, because folks will look at that and they'll automatically associate that with thug life and stuff like that. And when in actuality, that's not even how you get down.
No, I ain't no thug. I ain't never been a thug. I knew at a young age that life wasn't for me because I ain't want to go to jail. I'm like, now I had friends who were, but I'm like, I never pretended to be a thug. Like, it's too much to come with that. I'm allergic to bullets, and so I was like, that ain't the life I want.
Right. So, you see that all the time in corporate America, especially when it comes to folks wearing natural hairstyles.
Natural hair is another big one. Yes.
Afro puffs, afros, people that wear locks. You know, these are natural hairstyles, or somebody that wears braids. You know, you see that not only in corporate America, but you also see it in our school systems.
You do. And let me tell you, even to my point, which kind of, I touch on this a little bit in my book, I did so much in my life to fit in and to be accepted because I thought this is what I had to do to make the type of money I wanted to make. And when I look back on it, it was little pieces of me that I felt I was chipping away at. I used to have locks. I had locks for years, but I cut them off in my mind because I felt I could go further in my career because I knew the perception of locks. And I cut them off because I was like, I think I can go further. No, I knew I could go further in my career. It's unfair, but without the locks. And so all of these things I started to do to be successful in my mind. And I realized, is this really success or is this just getting money? And what price am I paying personally and emotionally for this success?
Now, defer to that first question. Which conclusion did you come to?
I think that it was the success that I had been told that was success. It was part of the American dream, part of the making the money. Now I realize true success is not predicated on how much money you have. My definition of success is whatever you decide you want to do. If you're doing that to the best of your ability, you're a success. If you decide, hey, my goal and dream is to be a teacher and you're the best teacher you can be, you're a success. If your goal and dream in life is to be a janitor and you said, I want to do it to the best of my ability. I want to keep these places clean. I want to keep the image up of these places. And you do that to the best of your ability, you're a success. If you decide you want to climb the corporate ladder, you do it. Whatever success is all about your perception and nobody else's. Success is what you decide you really want to do, not what you think you need to do, but what you really love to do and what you really want to do. You do that, you're a success.
See, you bring up an excellent point because, again, like I mentioned before, you know, how certain things are perceived, how we're perceived when it comes to certain aspects of us. Mm-hmm. Tattoos, hairstyles, the way we talk, because some of us, me myself included, I'm from Georgia, so every once in a while, my southern drawl will just come out, and people look at me like, what did you just say? What you talking about, y'all? I said it in a complete sentence, so I didn't. It wasn't a runoff sentence, but in those things, perception is something that is. I think perception, how we perceive ourselves, also kind of forces us to code switch too, because I think how we see ourselves in a specific place will kind of force us to code switch. Because like someone climbing a corporate ladder, I want to climb this ladder and get to this particular position. Well, what do I gotta do to get to that position? Do I have to do what I need to cut my beard? What I need to cut my beard off? What I need to, cut my bald anyway. What I need to cover? What I need to cover the tattoos that I have. What I need to dress a certain way. All these things, and I think all those things for kind of it forces us to consider the code switching.
It does. It absolutely does. You're right. It absolutely does. My message and what I want people to understand is you can have whatever you want to have, being you. It may take you a tad bit longer to get it your way, but you really can have whatever you want to have, being you, because that's not the only way to success.
Exactly.
I did what I did because I felt like that was the easiest way, or that was the only way that I knew. I knew if I did this, I could be successful because I saw the blueprint. I saw other people that did it and were successful. But I want people to understand, listen, that's not the only way to success. And there's a lot that I love about the hip hop world. There's a lot that I hate about the hip hop world. I love hip hop. I love it. But I grew up on it. I love it. Some of it I believe is garbage nowadays. But hey, it's personal opinion. It's personal opinion.
Right.
But when I see these artists, whether I like the way they look or not, I respect some of them. And some of them I feel like they look crazy, just crazy as hell. But I still respect them if they're doing that because that's what they really like, because that's how they really want to look, and not them trying to look a certain way to secure the bag. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that because, and I encourage it because I'm like, hey, if that's what you like, for example, I'll tell you this, and me, this is something that I hold on to. People that are close to me, they kind of know, but my sense of style is not mainstream all the time. Like I wear stuff on a regular basis that people look like, what are you doing? And I'm like, hey, I like it. I promise you, almost every woman that I've been in a relationship with at some point in time, be like, do you really still have that shirt? Like, are you really gonna wear that? Like, and I'm like, yes, I like it.
I sure am.
Exactly. And I'm like, I like it. I'm gonna wear it. And some people be like, don't nobody, I hear it all the time, man, don't nobody wear that no more. Well, I do, because I like it. Like, I do because I like it. I don't care. And I try to tell people, like, it doesn't matter what's in style. Do you like it? If you like it, wear it. I wear stuff I know that technically is out of style all the time. And we ain't even gonna get into, but I don't care because I'm like, I like it. Some of my boys, some of my family members, they'd be like, Rashaad, really? That's what you gonna wear? Yeah, because I like it. Because it's being authentically me. Now, the truth of the matter, we ain't gonna go down this rabbit hole. But I'm like, the whole style thing, that's not in style. I'm like, so do you really know who creates the styles? Do you really know the people in Europe that create the styles and decide what's stylish or not? So you're telling me that's your authority? You're telling me that's who dictates what you wear? I don't subscribe to that. If I like it, I like it. If I don't care who wearing it. I don't care who's not wearing it. I don't care if it's in style, it's not in style. If I like it, I'm gonna wear it.
Look, we in the same boat, brother. Because I love my anime shirts. I do. I love them.
Right there, man.
I love them. Wow. Look, I will throw on a Naruto shirt. I'll throw on an Inuyasha shirt. I got a couple of My Hero Academia shirts. Look, I'll rock them things, and man, I don't care. That's me.
Let me tell you what's funny. I recognize some of the names you're saying only because my daughter loves anime. And sometimes I hear her talking about it, and she loves it. But I love to hear stuff like that. I love to hear people say, hey, this is what I like. It's not mainstream, it's not in style, it's not popular, but I like it. So that's part of being authentic. You can't be authentically you and your whole style is predicated on what the hottest rapper is wearing or what the most popular person is wearing. You're not being authentically you. The truth of the matter is, people, I ain't gonna get on my soapbox with fashion. But a lot of fashion that people wear, if they wouldn't even wear it if it wasn't worn by somebody that was popular. They wouldn't even pick it out if it wasn't popular. They just wear it because it's popular. It's a whole nother conversation, but
look, I mean, what I'm saying, I know for me, because like yeah, I'm like you know, I love anime. I've been an anime head for Lord Jesus, and I'm dating myself right now. I've been an anime head since the mid '90s, brother. Been an anime head since the mid '90s. Ninja Scroll pointed the way to me, dog. So I've been rocking with that stuff for a long time. So, and even with me, I mean, and if I can find some game t-shirts, I'll buy some of those because I mean I'm also a gamer. Because I mean, if I can find some Destiny shirts or some Division shirt, I mean, look here. But I mean, like I said, our style, you know,
I feel you.
That's another thing that forces us to do that. Our style.
Your personal style. I feel you. Like there's certain things that I look like. I love cowboy boots. Been liking them since I was a kid. Like I got pictures. My family has just turned. I got pictures of me in cowboy boots, 6 shooters, and a cowboy hat as a kid. I've loved it since I was a kid. I love belt buckles. I've loved that since I was a kid. I went to an HBCU. I was rocking it on campus. Ooh. Like I would wear my cowboy boots and buckles, and people like, "What you got on? You ain't never seen shoes before? You ain't never seen a belt before?" I got on my clothes, and people like, "Yeah, man, nobody." I heard this often. Don't nobody wear that. Nobody but me. I don't care if nobody else wear it. I like it. I'm gonna wear it.
But see, what I don't like is this. You know, everybody, you know, everybody think like a fresh pair of Jordans or a fresh pair of Air Max or something like that is the way to go, or that's the style. I would say this. And this is just me just putting this out here. In my whole 51 years of living, well, basically from 18 to 51, I've only owned one pair of Jordans, and they're up under my bed right now. And I hardly even wear them.
Man, let me tell you, I'm 45 years old. In my whole 45 years of living, I've only had one pair of Jordans. And it was when I was like, 13 years old. I had a pair that I really liked. It was the white ones with the mesh on the side, with the fire on the bottom. I forget which number those are, but I still love those to this day. But that's the only pair I had. Because even when I got older and I could afford them, I would go and look at the price tag and like, ooh.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, I like them, but I could get 3 pair for the same pair. It's just, I may get a pair here. If I like a pair that comes out, I'll get them. Certain colors, I might get them. But again, it's not about what's popular to me. It's about what I like.
What makes you feel comfortable in your own skin?
Yeah.
I mean, the one of the things that I did that you said where you was going to your HBCU and then you wore what was comfortable to you, the cowboy buckle and the cowboy boots, you know, that particular style. One of the things that really just kind of grinded my gears and say, when somebody told you that we don't wear that here, that grinded my gears a little bit, because how are you gonna dictate what I wear, or better yet, how I act or how I present myself to you? If I'm being my authentic self in what I wear and how I talk or how I present myself to you, you shouldn't have an issue with it.
Listen, it's a mentality, because we've been taught to adapt to mainstream and fit in and do what everybody else is doing. But with me, like the more I grow, the more I'm me. But I've been like this my whole life. I have a picture right now. This picture is coming up on almost 20 years old. I still have it on my Facebook page, where me and some of my boys, one of my boys got married. We all went to the wedding. You look at the picture, everybody has on either a black, blue, or gray suit but me. I got on this bright gold suit. And of course, my boys talk about me. They like,
oddball.
coming in here looking like Michael Irvin. Like, what are you doing? Like, and it's all fun. These are my boys. And they joke with me, but they also know, like, you can say whatever you want. Rashaad is still gonna wear whatever he want to wear. Like, but
Exactly.
that's just me. Like, I made a promise to myself to be me.
There's nothing wrong with being an eyeball. Nothing wrong with that at all. I don't mind being an eyeball.
Me either. Here's the thing. I don't try to be an eyeball. I don't try to stick out. I'm just me. And if I stick out, I realize that sometimes that's a byproduct of it. But I'm not even trying to stick out. I'm not trying to be an eyeball. I'm just determined to be me.
That's it. By any means necessary.
By any means necessary.
What are the things that I like about this particular conversation, and also about what we're talking about now, is that a lot of us realize what it is and what it's doing to us, how it's damaging us as a people, how we're quote unquote mainstreaming to fit either a corporate mode or societal mode.
Yeah.
And I find that crazy. And again, I'll say this out loud. I'm guilty of code switching. I really am.
Yeah,
because the simple fact of it, I've changed how I've spoken to people to adapt to a specific situation, or to obtain something that I needed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like, and then at the end of the day, I look at it, why the hell did I do that? I could have asked for that in my normal voice, and I asked myself, if I would have asked for that in my normal voice, would I have gotten the same result?
That's why we do it, because there's something in us that we know sometimes. And it's the catch-22. There's consequences to being you. You know, sometimes if you are authentically you, sometimes you're not gonna get what you want. Sometimes you're not gonna be accepted. Sometimes you're not going to be. It's not going to be favored. Like, it's just. I think Fred, is that mentality of we want to be accepted. Now, part of it is, as humans, we want to be accepted by other humans. Everybody, like, people tell that lie. I don't care what nobody think about me. To a certain extent, yeah,
you do.
To another extent, no. We still desire to be accepted by certain humans, but the problem is when our desire to be accepted outweighs our desire to be naturally us and just go along with things just because everybody's doing it. That's the problem. So check this out. In my book, there's a chapter that's called "I Want My Cake and I'm Going to Eat It." I've always been the type to kind of question things. There's a phrase that I've heard my whole life, like, you want your cake and you want to eat it too. You want your cake and you want to eat it too. As a young person, I was like, that don't make sense. If it's my cake, why wouldn't I want to eat it? Like, I ain't never been to a birthday party where the birthday boy or girl couldn't eat their own cake. Like, that phrase does not make sense to me. But we just go along with it like it makes sense. Like, you want your cake and you want to eat it too. Why wouldn't I want to eat it? It's my cake. Like, that doesn't make sense. So in the book, I started researching that phrase and where it came from. And in the book, I tell people, this is where it came from. This is what it originally meant. And this is what it means now. But I always used to question, like, why do people say that like it makes sense? Why wouldn't I want to eat my cake? It's key word, mine. My cake. Why wouldn't I want to eat it? Like, but it just shows you how we go along with certain things without using our reasoning skills and just say it, and it's accepted just because everybody else does.
Yep. I want my cake and I will eat it. I love that, man, because and then you go. Then I think I know for me, if I say I want my cake and I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna get mad if I don't get it. I'm gonna get mad if I can't get it, I can't enjoy it.
So I'm gonna tell you something. So I did some research on that phrase. The verb have back in the day. So you want your cake and you want to eat it too. To have your cake, you want to have your cake, you want to eat it too. The verb have used to mean not just possess, but to eat. And so the original saying was, you want to eat your cake and then eat others too.
Ooh.
That was the original saying, but people just sure know you want your cake and you want to eat it too. The original saying was you want to have, meaning to eat your cake and then eat others too. So that makes sense if you look at the original way that have was used. But the way we use it now doesn't make sense at all. But people just go along with it because that's what everybody goes along. That's what everybody say. That's what, and I remember thinking like, even as a kid, like that doesn't make sense. I used to always question stuff like, why that doesn't make sense to me. Like I know everybody does it and everybody acts like it's just okay, but that doesn't make sense to me.
Not at all. Like why are they saying that? Because the cake is already theirs. They gonna eat it. They're gonna eat it anyway, right?
Really?
I mean, so stuff like that does make you scratch your head. Like, what?
Yeah.
But then also for me, I look at stuff like that, and I look at certain instances. That we're talking about this. I look at certain instances for me as a kid. I also look at certain instances for me as being a veteran serving in the military. I understand now. I look at that. There were certain instances to where I had to code switch in order to get to a specific place or obtain something that I wanted. I had to take away, had to pull back on how I actually spoke, the way that I spoke. Had to pull back on how I appear or what my appearance was. Now, being in the military, we all know that that's regimented. So everything's supposed to be on this even playing field. But me, from my personal experience, it really wasn't, because I noticed that other people got what they wanted, and I was still kind of stuck in waiting. Well, we can't advance you to this rank just yet because this whoa, hold on. I did my basic military requirements. I took the exam, took the test for this next rank, and passed it with flying colors. I wasn't my commanding officer was the one that recommended me to do this. So what the hell's the problem? Well, the minute someone says well,
yeah,
it's not, when the minute someone says well, it's usually, especially when it comes to stuff like that, to me, when they say well, it's usually not you, it's them.
And you know, the basis for all of this, Fred, is what will help us feel like we can be our authentic self is when we start to own. When we start to own things again, when we start to own companies, when we start to own systems, because the basis of it is the people that own things make the rules. One of my uncles used to always say, you know, I live life by the golden rule. And his golden rule was, the golden rule is he who has the money makes the rules. That was his golden rule. And that's true. If you own something, can't nobody tell you what to do or how to do it or how to act or what. Listen, they're billionaires. They have the luxury, most of them, of doing whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. And they don't have to cater or code switch to anybody because they have the freedom through the financial power to do whatever they want to. I think us as a people, we have to begin, and we're doing it slowly but surely, we're doing it, but we have to begin to start owning things that pertain to us.
Yep. Yeah, we have to, because money and ownership. Well, actually, to me, ownership is more important than money.
It is, definitely.
Because if I own it, that means I can set the ground rules. That means I can lay down the rules and regulations and lay down the law. And a lot of people think that, and I think this is one of the things that I look at as far as us as a people. We think that money is the path to certain things with is actually ownership.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's
I
ownership.
don't want to put money in the bank. I want to own it. I want to own that motherfucker. I want to own that motherfucker.
People like, yo, I want to get a slice of the pie. How about you just have your own pie? And you can get slices whenever you want. Like, it's just a shift in mentality we have to do.
Yeah, instead of being, why not? A lot of people think like, well, I don't buy. Well, no, I don't want a piece of somebody else's pie. Why not? I can bake my damn own. It is easier for me to do that, bake my own pie. Well, I won't even say easy. It's a longer process for me to bake my own pie. Then it's a lot. It would be easier for me to do that. What it would be for me to ask somebody for a slice of it, because they can tell me no at any given time. And the simple, like you said, why instead of getting a piece of something, why just make it yourself? More steps involved, but also it's going to be a much more satisfying process.
You're right. It's going to take more effort. It's going to take more energy. It's probably going to take you a little bit longer, but it's not about you and right now. It's about what you're building for generations to come. Your children's children will live life differently based on the decisions that you make today. Our communities will live life differently based on the decisions and the effort that we put in right now. So you have to be unselfish. You have to understand this ain't even about me. This is about what I want for us moving forward.
Oh yeah, but because I think because at the end of the day, I won't even say at the end of the day, because when it boils down to it, our children and their children and then their children's children are going to be the benefactors of what we pass down. Or what we give them, whether it's financial tools, whether it's physical tools, whether it's coping skills, or whatever it is that we pass down to our children. They're going to be the main benefactors of it. They're going to be the ones that's going to apply these lessons, these hard fought lessons that we learned. And they're going to be the ones passing it down from their kids to their kids to their kids. And that's going to keep that generational thing going. To me, I think generational wealth is more than just money. It's also knowledge. A lot of people think, well, I want to pass down this money to my kids. Well, can you pass down skills? Life skills? Can you teach your kid how to build something or how to maintain something? That's building wealth too, because now they can pass that skill down to their kids.
Absolutely.
And instead of just using that skill to push it. And again, I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with corporate America or anything of that nature. But instead of using those skills for corporate America, use those skills for the betterment of yourself and the people that are directly in your orbit.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Makes a whole lot of sense. I feel you on that.
And I don't know, man. Just folks, when they look at I want to pass down money. But money comes and goes. You could be rich today and poor tomorrow. Oh yeah, so Morgan does have a question about this. So do you speak about this subject to high school students?
I actually do. Yes, I speak to high school students. I've spoken to high schools before. I've spoken to middle school students. Right now, I speak primarily. The bulk of my speaking is at like conferences and colleges and universities, but definitely high schools I feel like need it the most. Like that's a very impressionable age. That's an age where guidance is like gold to them. So I definitely speak about this to high school students.
I do that now. Kind of piggyback on what Morgan said. Now, do you speak on it in the raw form that you and I are talking about it, or do you kind of still speak about it, but do you bring it down to where it's possible, where they can understand it?
A combination, because I do try to talk to them in a way that they understand it, but I try to be as raw and open as possible, because kids have a great BS detector, and they know when you're trying to BS them. The more honest you are with them, the more they'll receive you. And so I try to be very honest with kids, very honest and raw. and tell them this is what it is. This is what I want to help you with. This is where I think you should go. But hey, this is the real.
So, if Morgan asks a follow-up question, how do you begin that conversation with those kids? How does that conversation start, or where does it, or what phrase or what sentence do you begin with them?
With kids, I always talk to them about being real, because I was like, look, let's keep it 100. Because you all are always saying that, keep it a buck with me, keep it 100. The only way to keep it 100 with anybody else is to start with keeping it 100 with you. So if you can't be authentically you can't keep it real with nobody else. And I talk about why that's important. And kids are under so much pressure and so much peer pressure to fit in and to do this. And they're growing and they're learning who they are. They're learning what the world is all about. But I try to instill in them the best thing you can do for you right now and for years to come is to be authentically you. You got to learn a whole lot, but the number one thing I want you to learn is how to be exactly who you are and be okay with that.
See, and Morgan also said, I think they will be the ones to change the narrative. Adults, yeah, we set our ways.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I like speaking to kids and youth, because adults, we believe can't nobody tell us nothing. Like, I think it's idiotic sometimes. Adults, we're just stupid. We get to the point where we feel like can't nobody tell us nothing. Now, here's the sad part. Most adults are not where they want to be in life. They're not where they want to be relationship-wise, financially, in most areas, but nobody still can't tell them what to do. But somebody need to tell you what to do because you don't know how to do it. Like, I realize I need people to give me guidance still. I need information still. There's things that I know I can still learn. But kids, it's easier to teach kids than it is adults. Absolutely.
Because they're much more impressionable. They're very much more impressionable.
Very much more.
You can put something in the mind of a child, and they'll take that and they'll let that sit in the brain, and they'll let it just move all around and oil up the gears and everything. With an adult, it's in here and it's out here.
And we got to realize the truth of the matter is children, like, listen, like Whitney said, I believe the children are the future. They really are. Like, they are our future, literally and figuratively speaking. These kids are our future, and we have to invest time in them because that's what the world is going to be. They're going to run the world one day.
Yep. And then we're going to be the ones, watching them do what they do, we'll be the benefactors of their choices, because we are going to be the ones that are going to be the older generation that'll be, either close to on the way out or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I see this with my own kids. I look at my daughter. She's married and stuff like that. I look at my sons, and I like, damn, they're gonna be the future leaders of this world. They're mm-hmm. gonna be the ones that's gonna be making decisions on how things go. I look at my granddaughter, like, damn, she growing up so fast. She's gonna be a future leader of this world. She's gonna be making decisions on how things are now. And I told myself, well, I may not even be allowed to see that. But for me to watch the journey of her growing from this precocious young lady to a mature adult, that's gonna be the satisfaction with me. I mean, my kids are grown, so it's. For me now, I just like hearing them as they evolve, mm-hmm. as each evolution is a different thing, and my youngest son is the prime example of that. He called me one day and said, "Dad, I got a baby. Congratulations. Now, what's your next step? And what are you gonna do now besides taking care of that kid? Are you and this person romantically linked? If y'all are, you might want to consider some other things." But and he looked at him, and he said, "Well, Dad, that's something I'm considering." But me and her are talking about it. Good. At least put that particular subject out for conversation.
Right.
All my kids are very intelligent. They surprise me every day, and it's funny that we're talking about the code switching part of it, because now my daughter, my only daughter, she's mixed. I don't like to use the term biracial because it's, to me, it's offensive. It's very offensive. So she's Filipino and black, and I don't, like I said, I don't like to use the term biracial because I literally hate it. But one of the things we talked about was that she felt like she had the code switch to be around certain people, and then also from one end of the spectrum, you're not black enough. The other end of the spectrum, well, you're not this enough. And for a while that was her struggle, until she got married, she met her husband, and her husband just said, "Be you. Who gives a damn about what everybody else thinks? It doesn't matter if you're Filipino enough. It doesn't matter if you're black enough. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is if you're you enough." And she told me that. I'm like, she asked me, was he right in saying? I said, yeah, hell yeah, you're right. Who cares? You don't have to fit into here or here. You don't have to fit into this particular group or this particular group. Fit into you first, and then let everybody see the radiant, beautiful person that you are, and the people that want to be around you will gravitate.
That's it. And that's why kids are so they're so impressionable, but it's so important to instill this in their psyches early, because kids spend so much time. They want to be accepted. It's natural as a kid, a teenager. It's natural to want to be accepted and want to fit in, but you have to let them know, okay, you can want to be accepted, you can want to fit in, but your ultimate goal should to be you. And the truth of the matter is, when you're you, if people don't accept you, good. That's not your tribe anyway. That's not who you need to be around anyway. The people that accept you, that's who you need to be around. Like, and so it's important to instill that in this younger generation, because sometimes they're adults that don't even know who they are, because their whole lives they've tried to fit in and be this and be that and be what, and not necessarily, they didn't have ill intentions, but in their mind, they were trying to be successful or trying to be a good person or trying to be a good this, and they lost sight of who they were. And now they're in therapy trying to figure out who they are.
And I think that's crazy, because your childhood years are supposed to be the best years of your life. These are supposed to be the years to where you're discovering who you are. You realize you're having the time of your life per se,
right?
And but you're also you're growing into who you are as a person, which is going to shape you for the adult that you become,
right?
But nope, you got bullying, you got all these other things that kids deal with, and it puts a tremendous amount of pressure on them, and then they have to switch up how they are, how they feel, or how they act, or how they talk to either number one, protect themselves, or number two, survive.
Right.
And then, I know Morgan's a teacher, and I know I'm pretty sure she's seen some of those things that a lot of these kids go through, from either from close up or from afar. And I find that, like I said, our kids are impressionable. It is best to catch them when they're young.
Yes.
Catch them at 5, 4, and like 4 or 5 years old. Matter of fact, you catch them at 2 or 3, that's even better. Because now you can put things, and you can mold them and teach them things. And like I said earlier, with kids, a lot of things that we tell them, that us as adults tell them, but we teach them, they take it and they process it. It's like oil, like motor oil on gears. It just rolls around in the gears and just sit, and it just continues to lubricate those gears and keeps that mind running. Like it's like adults. Nah. Stubborn. It comes through one ear, directly out the other. I don't want to hear that. I know what to do. I'm grown. Are you? If you were grown, then you wouldn't have to be. Then I wouldn't have to be giving you advice. I mean, that's a bit simple as that, though. It is. It really is simple as that. For at least for me, anyway. I mean, for me, I just tell folks, y'all lack common fucking sense.
It's a
For
lot
lack
of
of a
people out
better
here.
word.
A lot
For
of
lack of
people
a
out
better
here.
word. But yo, man, I've literally enjoyed this conversation, man. I most definitely want to have you back so we can have an even more in-depth conversation about this and how and speak how it affects us as men and black men and black women, because it's crazy. It's crazy that in this time that we live in, that we're still doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're still using those things as a survival tactic, as a as a as an adaptation tactic, as a
Right.
tactic to kind of one of those tactics to kind of a patience tactic.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, being authentic, being who we are authentically is what we were created to be anyway. Why
Right.
deviate from that?
Absolutely. I mean, I've enjoyed the conversation too, Fred. We definitely gonna have to do this again.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, a couple things I do now. I always have these two questions that I always ask guests when they show up here. One question is this: um, thinking about thinking about the word legacy.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you at this present moment?
Mm. Legacy means a lot to me. Legacy is partially why I do what I do, because I want to leave a legacy. Like, I want to leave a legacy that has an impact, not just on the world right now, but on the world for hundreds and thousands of years to come. I feel like it's my duty to leave a legacy for my family that's going to change the world. I feel like it's my duty with who I was created to leave the world better than it was when I entered it. And part of that is through it's going to be that's going to be my legacy. My legacy is going to be what I do here that's going to reverberate in throughout time for thousands of years to come.
Excellent. I love that. I love that. Now the second question. Now the second question is: so I look at life as a marathon. And when you think about a marathon, there are stages to that. To me, there are three primary stages. The first stage is when the starter shoots the gun and everybody's coming out of their blocks, and they're running and they're getting their pace. Then
Mm-hmm.
we have the middle part of that, to where you're at your pace, and you're running your race, and you're moving at that good steady clip. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have the third stage, which is the finish. The finish line's in sight. You're at the end of the race, but you're still going at your same clip. You may have slowed you're still moving at a steady pace, even though you may have slowed down a little, may have slowed down by a couple of steps, but you're still going at a good steady pace.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at your life in its totality, from birth to now, or even then looking at your experiences in corporate America, and also being an entrepreneur and a speaker. What part of your marathon are you in? Are you in the beginning, the middle, or the end?
Good question. I feel like some parts of my life is in the middle, where other parts of my life I feel like it's still near the beginning, because I feel like there's certain things that I'm just now learning. And here's why, and it goes back to the question of legacy. I feel like I want to leave a legacy for those that come behind me that can get to that middle and ending part much quicker than I did, because I feel like with running any race comes wisdom. Anybody experiencing anything, they have wisdom. And I want to pass that down to teach them how to run the race quicker, how to run the race more effectively, and how to run the race that they were designed to run. And so I think I'm still in the middle in some spaces and the beginning in other spaces. And I see the finish line. I know where it is, but I'm nowhere near that.
Right. I got you. I feel that. And I like the way you said that because sometimes there are parts of our lives that are still coming out the gate. And there's some parts of our lives that are in the middle. We see the finish line, but we know we're not quite there yet because we know we still have a lot more in the tank.
Right.
So I like that answer, man. I love that answer. The other thing I want to do for you, man, I want to give you this time to give yourself a shameless plug. I want you to tell our viewers and our listeners who you are, where they can find you at, and where they can find your books at. So you have the floor, sir.
Great. Well, listen, I am Rashaad. I am Rashaad Johnson. I believe I'm going to change the world. I believe I'm a change agent for all that dare to listen to me. You can find me. My website is RashaadJ.com. That's RashaadJ.com. On social media, you can find me. My handle is Rashaad IU. That's RashaadIU. It's that way on Instagram, on YouTube, on Threads, on X. Facebook, my platform is Impact with the letter U, but everywhere else is Rashaad IU. But yeah, my books, you can look on my website, RashaadJ.com, and find my books on my website. But that's how you can keep in contact with me. I actually also have links on my website to all the social media. So you want to know anything about me, you want to be nosy and find out about my life, go to RashaadJ.com. That's where you can find me.
Yep, most definitely. I'm actually gonna put that up in the chat and put it up in our comments. So everybody, for anybody that wants to go check him out, if you want to know about this man, this world changer, man, go check out his website, RashaadJ.com. His books are also on their website. Are they able to purchase your books there too?
Yes, you can purchase my books through it. There's links to both of my books on my website.
See, there we go. See, but a one-stop shop, y'all.
One-stop shop.
Look,
that's it.
For more information on my brother Rashaad Johnson, please, or to purchase books, please go to his website, www.rashaadj.com. You're gonna find everything that you need to know about this guy. You can purchase his books there. If you want to know more about who he is, about Impact U, go there. You'll find out what's going on. You'll find out what's going on with him. Now, do you also do bookings for speaking engagements there too?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can contact me through my website for speaking engagements. Or listen, I'm not too. You can hit me up on social media. Like, yeah, hey, send me a message on social media for the speaking engagements. But yeah, I'm available for speaking engagements. If I'm free, we can talk about it. I mean, not free as in, don't charge them. I'm saying if I'm available, we can talk about it. I do have, several speaking engagements engagements coming up, but hey, let's talk.
You know what? And I think that a lot of school systems a lot of these public school systems could benefit from you coming to their schools and talking to them. Because there are not a lot of things not a lot of subjects like this subjects like these need to be brought to the forefront for our kids, especially our younger, especially our middle school and high school kids.
Yes.
Because, elementary school kids, not to say that this doesn't affect them. It does, but it gets really serious in middle school and high school.
Yes.
So I really think that this could be something that like middle school and high school kids can benefit from. And
absolutely,
adults who are willing to listen.
Yes, adults who are willing to listen.
You have to be willing to listen and learn, because if you don't listen and learn, then you won't gain any knowledge. But that's just my little soapbox talk anyway. But yeah, man, look here, y'all. Again, like I said, y'all go check this man out on his website, man. I've actually had the chance to go to peruse through the website. It's a beautiful website. Everything's right there for you to click and see. You can purchase his books on the website. If you want more information about him, you can go there too. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is another person that I'm gonna put in the badass category. Another person I'm putting in the badass category. And when I say badass, I mean badass as in somebody who is impactful, somebody who is a world changer, a life changer, a destiny builder, a destiny empower, all those types of things, y'all. Just I want y'all to I implore y'all to go visit his website. I implore y'all to reach out to him. I implore y'all to just connect. Because you never know. You never know, man. You never know. Rashaad, first and foremost, like I said earlier, before we got started, man, I appreciate you taking the time out of a Friday evening to come and kick it with me, brother. That is not lost on me. That is really not lost on me. I appreciate you being here. I really do appreciate your time and your presence and the conversation, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed this conversation. We definitely gonna have to do it again. So thank you, Fred.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. Like I said before, man. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to some and introducing to some and reintroducing to others. Somebody that I am now proud to call brother, man, Mr. Rashaad Johnson. Again, if you want more information about this man, this world changer, this destiny pusher, you can go visit his website, RashaadJ.com. There you'll find his books. Both books. I implore you to purchase one or both of these books, because I guarantee one of them or both of them will be impactful to you. And again, I want to say thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much for being a presence here with us. And again, this ain't lost on me, bro. It ain't lost on me.
Thanks.
It ain't lost on me. And I am someone who I enjoyed the conversation, man, 100%. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to end this episode of the Office Alley, man. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for critical conversations with my girl LHG in the house. Great subject she's got tomorrow. And also, man, just continue to like and follow and share us on social media, man. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're everywhere. We're on X or Twitter. We're also on YouTube, man. We got a YouTube channel. Go like some of the content. Go subscribe, hit that like notification, and be notified when we come back, when we come on and we do these things. Because the reason that we are out here, we out here having guests like Rashaad, is because the simple fact of the matter is this: my purpose and my purpose in this is to change a life one show at a time, one subject at a time, one guest at a time. And if one person's life is changed, then that's a mission complete for me. I'll accept that mission complete, and we are good. Other than that, man, we're also out here to entertain, but also edify, but also uplift. So it's gentlemen like Rashaad that make what I do, that make what we do pleasurable, and it gives me the fuel to keep going, and for me to keep pushing. Because if I see him pushing toward his goal, I know I can get to mine. And if we can reach our goals together, then I'm damn sure gonna give a hand. I'm damn sure gonna push him along, and in return, he's gonna push me along. So,
absolutely,
about helping people. I'm about making people. I'm about elevating people as well. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about the people that I'm around. And also at the end of the day, God does get the glory in it. So at the end of the day, he does get the glory. I most definitely give it up to him because of that. But that's gonna end our show for tonight, man. Again, Rashaad Johnson, Mr. Brother, thank you so much, man. Sukasa, man. You're welcome to come back anytime, brother. Just let me know when you want to come back on, and we will most definitely chop it up, have another conversation, man. I appreciate you so much, sir. You are, I see great things coming. I see great things coming with you, sir. I do.
Thank you.
Keep pushing the needle, keep pushing that needle forward, man. A lot of people are not gonna gravitate towards you because of their thought processes. But a lot of people will gravitate towards you because of what you represent to them, what they see, and they're gonna read your books, and they're gonna see their attitudes and their dispositions in your books, and they're gonna gravitate towards you. They're gonna have questions. Be prepared and ready to answer them.
Will do, man. Thank you for the platform. You're doing a great work here, man. I appreciate it.
I do try. But yo, man, we gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna take y'all home with a video. Bookstar Dash. It's the way. I love you guys to life. I love you guys to live. You guys have a great weekend. And 3 things I always say before we get up out of here, man. Number 1, hey, be kind to each other. Number 2, love on each other. Number 3, we all know this is a crazy ass world out here. So above all those things, please, y'all be safe out here, man. We love y'all. Y'all have a great weekend, and we will see y'all in the next one. Peace.
You know that I'm changing, No more ways. New doors are open. I'm no longer broken. Strategy's high, I'm living my life. Oh yeah. I paid my tithe. New blessings on my life. Oh yeah. It's the way you keep blessing me. All I see is opportunity. You open doors that was hard to believe. I thank God you keep favor on me. Check my bank account, all my bills paid. Doors keep opening, miracles raining all on me. I'm still alive, food on my table. God is good, you know He's able. It's the way you keep blessing me. It's the way all I see is opportunity. You open doors that was hard to believe. I thank God you keep favor on me. It's the way you keep blessing me. It's the way you keep all I see is opportunity. You open doors that was hard to believe. I thank God you keep favor on me.
Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. And prove me now herewith, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open to you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing.
I know I've been changed. Things ain't the same since you came my way, yeah. You showed me something different. You showed me something new. You came and turned me around. I was lost, now I am found. Blessings on blessings, blessings on blessings. Windows of heaven, keep pouring out blessings. I don't know how would you do it. My head keeps spinning when you do it. I can't find a reason, but you showing on this season. Yep, it's the way though. It's the way you do, yeah. It's the way though. You keep blessing me. It's the way you do. It's the way though. Yeah. It's the way though. You keep blessing me. It's the way you